live on your tablet, phone, and the KUTV app. This is 2 News Live.
Thanks for joining us for 2 News Live. Tonight, I'm Heidi Hatch. It is Monday, June 19th or Juneteenth. We're going in depth tonight on a few things, including high winds and dust all over the valley. Paul Nelson will explain how this is affecting our air quality. It looks nasty out there. Lincoln Graves will join us to explain yet another strategy to help save the Great Salt Lake. But before we dive in, let's take a look at what is making headlines today. First up here in the headlines today, a deadly crash in Summit County early this morning. A black Nissan Armada was traveling northbound outside of Park City when it ran off the road and crashed into a traffic sign and a support pole there as well. Also happening right now, Utahns are gathering to celebrate in Salt Lake City Juneteenth. It's a family-friendly event happening at the Gateway until 10 p.m. tonight. Juneteenth commemorating when the last enslaved people in the United States learned finally that they were free. And also happening today, Salt Lake City welcoming back one of America's largest trade shows. The Outdoor Retailer Convention starting today, and it brings in roughly $48 million in an economic boost. So a welcome to all those businesses here in Utah right now. Also in headlines today, West Valley Police asking for your help finding drivers that may have information on a deadly crash. Take a look at this picture. It is going to be blurry here coming up in just a second, but police are looking to talk to the drivers of the two vehicles in the photo, the red truck and the dark sedan. We'll post that for you to take a better look on KUTV.com as well. As we go in depth tonight, you can always, at this point, get in touch with us during the show. Use the hashtag 2NewsLive to join the conversation. You can always find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I look a little different than Brian Cheney. My name's Heidi Hatch. You can find me as TV Heidi Hatch on all of your platforms wherever you go. Well, skies, they're nasty and filled with dirt today as steady winds are kicking up dust from rock quarries all over the Salt Lake Valley right now, as well as the Great Salt Lake as well. Some health experts are saying that dust pollution can be a serious health risk. Paul Nelson is live in Mill Creek. Dirty skies. So Paul, the big question now, how bad is it getting tonight? We've been watching you and it is blustery out there.
Yeah, you saw earlier I was wearing the tie, just had to bag it. It was one of those things where it was going pretty much perpendicular to me. But I mean, as far as what we can see, just from the naked eye here, earlier today we could not see the Ochre Mountains at all from where we were overlooking the freeway. But now we're starting to see the outline of the mountains a little bit more clear. We were told that this cold front was going to be bringing wind basically through the early evening. And I don't want to say it's cleared out or anything like that. However, the skies don't look as bad as they did earlier today. Today they were just really brown and just kind of gunky all the way around. And this was coming from quarries in North Salt Lake that was blowing into Davis County. We also had quarries at the point of the mountain that were blowing into Salt Lake. Great Salt Lake itself was actually blowing in a lot of dust. So basically we just had sources of dust all over the Wasatch Front, and the air was quite dirty because of it.
Certainly it has been nasty looking all day long. It's nice to be able to see the outline of the mountains again, but it's certainly windy out there still. Is this a health risk if you want to go outside on a night like tonight and have a walk, or is there not much of a concern?
Well, we did speak with some people who were out and about just kind of walking, and there were some that said that they didn't really feel any health risks. However, we spoke with Brian Mensch of the Utah Physicians for a Healthy Environment. He said on a day like today, he really does not recommend exercising outside at all. He was also telling people that they should probably use their air filters inside their homes. And if you have any masks left over from COVID-19, use those when you're out and about. That could stop a lot of particulates coming into your lungs. But one of the things that he was especially concerned about was quarry dust, because it has not just heavy metals like arsenic in it, but it also has crystalline silica, which is kind of like just crystallized sand, but he called that barbed wire in the lungs once it's inhaled. So he basically just said that there are a lot of reasons why you shouldn't be exercising outside on a day like today. Quarry operators, I had a chance to speak with them as well. They said that on a day like today, if there's 25 miles an hour gust winds, they really can't stop all the whist, even though they do have fugitive dust control plans in place. But on a day like today, they kind of limit their operations to try to kick up less dust than they normally would.
Well, Paul, we're going to give your lungs a break for a minute. I like that you're a ray of sunshine on this cloudy day, but go jump in the car for a minute, and thanks for the update. Okay, did you get the special alert on your phone today? We sent this out to make you aware of the affected air quality. I know I had a nasty headache myself, decided to stay inside. If you want to get updates like this one, download the 2 News mobile app. This week is the official start to summer in a couple days. Chief Meteorologist Sterling Polson is here with us. It's not quite feeling like the glorious start to summer just yet.
Well, 91 today in Salt Lake
that
City.
Warm?
Yeah, that was a high today in Salt Lake City. Those south winds really bringing in that warm air, but we do have a cool front, and you'll notice up here you can see those cooler temperatures up around Wendover and Logan. So let's take a look at the forecast, and we'll show you why that is. Yeah, there's a cold front coming in from the northwest. It's going to kind of sink to the south over the next 24 hours. It's a slow mover, but it is producing some light shower activities. Occasionally there's a moderate shower embedded in here, but this is mostly light shower activity. Will continue for the next couple of hours as it moves into Salt Lake City. But I think by midnight tonight, most of that will be gone. In fact, after 10 o'clock tonight, most of this activity is going to go away. These are very fast moving. There's a little bit of lightning with them, but not a lot. This isn't a big line of storms that's coming in across the Great Salt Lake. This is just a bunch of small little cells that are moving from south to north very quickly, and they don't produce a lot of rain. In fact, I'll show you some of the rain that we're expecting in my forecast here in just a minute. But Salt Lake Valley, we're seeing some clouds, but there's not a lot of rain falling out of those clouds. And we can see that right out our window here as we look at the radar. It does show that there should be some showers over us right now, but nothing falling out of the sky here. At least it's not making it to the ground. Some heavier showers are just crossing Interstate 80 out to the west right now. Those will continue to move north and probably decrease in intensity. And we're not expecting a lot of rain. 400s. This is a 24-hour forecast. So from now until tomorrow at this time, you can see we're just less than 1/10 of an inch in most areas across the northern part of the state, according to the high-resolution future rainfall forecast. Also, southern Utah, some good news there. We're not expecting any flash flood warnings or flash flood problems for the next several days, in fact. So if you want to start doing some hiking in some of the canyons down there, it's probably a good time to do it. But still, make sure you always check the forecast. Things can change. We're not always perfect, us weather guys. 38% by 9 p.m. for Salt Lake City, 36% at 1 a.m. So you can see we've got a 20 to 30% chance of some showers overnight tonight. None of them will be particularly heavy. 79 in Richfield, 76 in Cedar City, 90 in St. George. And yes, there will be a flash of lightning or two across the northwestern part of the state. So just be careful out there. Lightning is a pretty high, it goes up pretty high as far as weather-related incidents. This is radar at 10 o'clock tonight. Watch what happens after 10. It just fizzles out. So the cold front continues to move toward the south and east and moves out of the state eventually, but it does look like the winds are going to continue tomorrow. This is midnight tonight. They kind of died down a little bit, but they're still 30 to 36 miles per hour. And then in tomorrow, they pop right back up again, but mainly in eastern Utah. You'll notice here along the Wasatch Front, those winds are about 5 to 10 miles an hour, and they'll be out of the west to northwest, so that's nice. Then we get a pickup in the winds tomorrow afternoon into evening, anywhere from 15 to 20 miles an hour, and then there's a little batch of wind that comes in early Wednesday morning, and I don't think we'll have too much effect from that. And then we should be finished with the winds for a while as this low pressure continues to drift off to the north, never really makes it into Utah. And there's a little system coming through on Friday right here. That could produce an isolated shower or two on Friday, and then the high pressure starts to build in, and we start to see warmer temperatures as we move into farther down the road toward the end of the month. So the forecast for the next 7 days, 90 to 92 to 94, 87 on Friday. We'll see those temperatures into the 90s on Saturday, Sunday, and close to 100. Heidi, we could see our first triple digit in St. George next Monday. And for Salt Lake City, we've got those temperatures right there in the 70s, then the 80s, overnight lows in the 50s, warming into the 60s, sort of upper 50s, near 60. The overnight temperatures have been really quite pleasant, actually.
Good sleeping weather.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll enjoy the 70s before summer arrives, because once it's hot, it'll be hot.
Yeah, that's the plan. We'll see what happens. Yeah.
We'll see. It's
June
a wild
hasn't really
year.
turned out like we thought it would either, but we'll see what happens.
All right, great. Sterling, thank you. Hope you had a happy Father's Day yesterday. Remember to download our 2 News weather app to know about changes that are happening in your neighborhood. Get updated forecasts and live radar right on your phone. It is the app that is free and easy to download. Well, there is yet another strategy to help save the Great Salt Lake, but unlike many ideas born here in the Utah legislature, this one is coming from the nation's capital. Lincoln Graves is live at the Great Salt Lake State Park for us to explain what's happening there. Smart man, he's inside the car and out of the wind. So tell me what the plan is.
I was standing outside for a bit, and then it just got a little too windy, so I ducked back in here. I'll tell you, Heidi, this plan coming from Washington, D.C., it may be coming from the nation's capital, but Utah's congressional delegation, I should say, that includes representatives and senators, they are still the primary advocates here. So this is still somewhat of a local push since it's coming from them. Really what this will do, by itself it wouldn't do much, but they call this one tool in their overall toolbox. Essentially, they want to be able to use federal money from another federal project in Utah. It's been around for a while. Some may have heard of it, some may have not. It's called the Central Utah Project. There are some strict criteria in terms of where that funding could be used. So they want to be able to use some of that funding to help Great Salt Lake water conservation efforts. So it would require a federal law to do that. That's what they are proposing. They introduced legislation last week. Our 4 representatives and then Senator Mike Lee have also indicated they are in support of this. So again, it may be minor on one level. It wouldn't do a whole lot on its own. But all in all, taken as part of that overall toolbox, they hope it could make a difference. Heidi?
So it's a multi-faceted approach. I think a lot of us would like to think that we could just keep getting more winters like this and fill up the lake by itself, but that's probably a bad thing to count on.
Yeah, I asked several people about the winter we had this year, or this past winter, and basically they all said, obviously it's a huge blessing. Obviously we are thankful for it. It bought us some time, is what they all say. It certainly doesn't solve all of our problems, but it definitely bought us some time. So they're thankful for that, but they don't want anybody to take their foot off the gas. Not everyday Utahns in terms of encouraging them to do water conservation, but also state lawmakers at the federal and local level. Keep the eye on the ball in terms of water conservation and how to save this lake, because they all say we will likely see some very dry years down the road, and they don't want to end up in the same situation. Heidi?
It's the second driest state in the nation. It is inevitable. Well, a windy day out there on the lake, but it's fun to see people visiting. Lincoln, thank you. We'd love to hear from you at home. What do you believe is the most important reason to preserve the Great Salt Lake? You can scan the QR code on your screen if you'd like to weigh in. Right now, the majority of you say it's an environmental impact. There's so much that goes around here. Plus, how do you be Salt Lake City without the Great Salt Lake? A lot of other people say that you have to let Mother Nature run its course. Others saying that this is a local health impact. Businesses depend on it. Was the smallest percentage there, but there are brine shrimpers that use that. That's used for pet food in a lot of places, and a lot of businesses that mine salt out there too. So we're keeping an eye on this. This will be a story we watch for years to come. Let's take a look at what's trending on our website on KUTV.com tonight. Scrolling down here to our trending stories, Kendall Levine earning a degree after years of recovering after an auto pedestrian crash during her LDS mission. Amazing story of working so hard to get this degree. Congratulations on that. We were talking about the motorcyclist killed in a crash with a car in West Valley City. If you click on that story, you can see the blurry picture that police are trying to get out and figure out who those other drivers are that may have witnessed that crash. We've got Pat Sajak retiring from Wheel of Fortune. Hard to believe that Wheel of Fortune will go on without him. A lot of people interested in that. The Outdoor Retailer Show getting a lot of clicks right now too. It's going on in Salt Lake City. And again, more on that motorcyclist out of West Valley City. A lot of interest there. Remember all these stories on our KUTV mobile app. You can download it on your Apple App Store or also on Google Play. If you're looking for inexpensive, family-friendly entertainment, and who isn't this summer, movie theater chain Cinemark has you covered on this one. The company bringing back its summer movie clubhouse promotion. It offers families tickets to certain films for $1.50 plus taxes and fees. Can't beat that these days. It starts this week with participating theaters in 35 states running the promotion every Wednesday. The deal runs through the week of August 10th. The promotion also includes a discount on concessions if you drop in as well. Thanks so much for being with us for 2 News Live tonight. We'll be here 5:30 Monday through Friday. We hope you join us again for more in-depth conversations on the topics that impact you and your family. Have a great Monday. We'll see you tomorrow, and I'll see you next on 2 News at 6 o'clock.